Coming up, familiar names added to those declaring they'll run in the March 2024 council election. Residents lodge concerns about new developments. Heart Parklands still not fully open. Nicholas Street latest. Men's sheds for music. And we reminisce about low or no tech fun. Walter Williams and Ashleigh Mac join the show for our regular yarn over the back fence. It's Thursday, October 19, 2023, and I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. Walter Williams has called Ipswich home for 32 years, and you will know his voice on many TV and radio ads, and he was previously heard doing many shows on QFM, 4BH, Star FM, River and 4BC. Welcome, Walter.
Thank you, mate. And yes, I read audio books as well.
I'll listen out for them. Ashleigh Mac was born in Ipswich and growing up in Evervale didn't affect him very much at all. He was the first voice on QFM in 1990, all those years ago, still a media tart, and owns a great local business at St Andrews serving coffee. Welcome, Ash.
Thanks, mate. Nice to be here. And Walter, I would like to say a personal thank you for all those wonderful posts about your holidays, giving us a day-by-day rundown. All I am now is freaking jealous, right?
Where was that? Burley Head? Somewhere down there?
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Palm Beach.
Palm
Initially,
Beach.
that was the point of HQ for the Williamses for
well, it
9
looked
nights.
like it was a great holiday.
Yeah,
fantastic. You don't have to leave Australia to have a great holiday.
That is
Mr.
true.
Chill. Mr. Chill, we'll call him.
Now, guys, I've got some interesting stats here for you. This is episode 302 of Ipswich Today, and it's our 30th yarn over the back fence.
Hey!
Wow.
And they said it never lasts.
A little golf clap. Let's get into the topics for this month. People are starting to come out of the woodwork and declare their intention to run at the council election in March, which is only about 5 months away. Of main interest is the mayoral race. We already know about Dave Martin. He's having fun with some other media at the moment. Peter Robinson has put his name up. He ran in 2017 at the mayor by-election and in the former Div 5 in 2016. Have you heard any other names?
I've heard our certain driving school instructor with a broken shoulder has decided that he might be throwing his hat in the ring, which is, I think that's a pretty good thing for one of the divisions. I might have a crack at my way out at Barellan, that sort of area.
All right. Well, I'll have to check in with Mr. Cullen to confirm that at a later date. Walt, who have you heard? Anyone?
Oh, nothing on top of these that you've mentioned here.
But things are not the same as they used to be. I remember when it was Don Livingston was running the game and Labor were there. It was sort of 44% of the primary vote you get automatically if you had a Labor flag over the top of you. Now I think it's changed. I think they've pulled that because the two major parties are a little bit smelly. What do you reckon?
Well, it was more that politics in local government was smelly.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
And I think Ipswich survived with party candidates up until amalgamation. Dave Underwood might have been the last mayor that was elected as a Labor mayor. In Division 4, Susan Dunn, who's based in Rosewood, is going to run again. And Pi Augustine in Division 2 having a second go. I spoke to Pi just after the Ipswich show because Pi was there with her table declaring her intention to run in 2024.
What percentage could Pi take of the pie at the end of the day?
If you'd asked me to look that up, I could have told you, Walt, but but I don't have that in front of me.
I think it's another holiday.
Look, last note about the local government election. What makes a good candidate? Ash, I'm going to go to you first because you've been tempted to dabble.
Yeah, well, I did.
Well, you did dabble,
in,
yes.
I ran in 1990. I had a 4-week campaign, $1,000 budget, and got 22% of the primary vote. And Don Livingston said I could have any seat I wanted in the town if I joined the Labor Party, which is the truth. He was a lovely guy, but I said no, I'm an independent. I think if you can get, for years, Ipswich has been run by people who weren't real experts. I'd like to hear a little bit of merit in it, people who really understand the game. I'm having problems getting people to understand that there's a bit of a Ponzi scheme happening with the way we're running real estate in this town, the developments. I think we should be infilling and not spreading out too far. It's costing us too much. I'd like to see more people with expertise in that area come in and actually run the place instead of hiring somebody because they're nice. I don't think that's a good way to do it.
So it's not a popularity contest.
No, I don't want it to do that.
Although you do have to be popular to win. Well, what makes a good candidate?
What makes a good candidate? Well, as Ash has just said, they've got to have some sort of background, especially in 2023. We can't keep going with the candidates who are just there because they are socially active. They've got to have some merit to back that up, don't they?
Look, the thing is, I don't have any complaints about the current lot. I think they seem to be doing an okay job, so I'm not ready to turf them out.
All right. Well, we'll no doubt be talking about the election again as more people declare their intention to run in 2024 for the Ipswich City Council. In a council-related matter, you touched on it there, Ash, with the real estate and the price of real estate. More development is coming to Ipswich. Currently, there's about, 50 houses a week that are coming to the market. We need 100. The councillors are getting to the pointy end of their term and they're actually facing some tough decisions. And the number one tough decision is the Astral Court proposal for the land behind Winston Glades Shopping Centre at Flinders View. Now, this one is interesting because that area, if I'm not wrong, was originally earmarked for the shopping centre to be extended. But the residents seem to be more upset by the fact that it's a unit type development and some of that vegetation will come down as a result. It's just regrowth because it was cleared apparently years ago. The creek line will stay intact. And then there's another development which council has approved, stage 1 of a big development at the Goodna. I think we're going to see more and more of this. The locals around the Goodna, there was I think 30 odd objections, many more for the Astral Court. Councillors are in a bit of a tough situation here. Ash, what you said you like infill, so you'd be voting for it by the sound of it.
Well, look, the Goodna thing, I think that's a good thing because it's going to drag some infrastructure into that area, and it needs it, right? That's good, but I'm against finding a block of land a gazillion metres away from the city and developing it because the cost of doing it, all the infrastructure is so high. Why can't we start looking at, they see these 400 square metre blocks seem to be popular. Why can't we say to people in Ipswich, okay, subdivide your blocks. If you're not using your backyard, it's cheaper on infrastructure. It's more efficient for the council. The council gets a better return per square metre, right? Instead of, all this new stuff that in 25 years' time we won't be able to afford to fix the roads or the curbing and the channeling around the place because it'll fall apart.
I can remember about 20 years ago when the Walloon, the Goodna Rosewood corridor was talked about a lot because there was already electric rail there. So it made sense to develop along that corridor. And this is a sure sign that is going to happen. We've already seen expansion at Walloon. Now it's the Goodna's turn. Well, what's your view on that?
Look, I think we've got to have more inner city development around infrastructure that's already in place, like your railway station and things like that. We're not seeing enough of that. That idea was touted many years ago by a lot of people in the biz, but it hasn't followed through so much. You see a little bit of it happening in Brisbane now, which is good. But we've got opportunities in the Ipswich region for the exact same thing to happen. Interesting to note, too, that the Independent Decision Review Panel, they held their meeting exactly where the stand-up comedy room is in the Civic Centre. Is there any correlation with that?
Downstairs at the Civic Centre. Probably not on this occasion, Walt.
It's an interesting thing. 2020 hindsight in development's a wonderful thing. After you see something go up, you go, oh, gee, maybe we shouldn't have made that decision. There's one that I'm a little bit icky about at the moment, and that is Ebervale.
Beside the servo there.
Oh, yeah.
Beside the gliderway and that. They've torn down the houses and they're putting in industrial.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's on the railway line. And that railway line in 20, 30 years' time is going to be carrying a lot of people, because we are a dormitory suburb of Brisbane, right? It's going to be carrying a lot of people, and you need to be living close to that sort of infrastructure. And we're building, they haven't got spur lines or anything off into these industrial areas. It's not like the industrial areas are going to use the railway line. They could have put it a little bit further out and used that area for population growth.
Talking developments though, like this, you're both familiar with the new Silkstone Coals complex,
yes,
and they've extended that just recently as well in the last few months. But behind that is a lot of little tacky boxes, as the song used to go. But it's kind of one of the things we need as a solution to this housing crisis in this city, isn't it? We've got to have this medium density housing for people to live in, so that we're not living too far apart, as you say, from all the major infrastructure points that are just crucial to the development of Australia.
The view of the experts seems to be every development has to have a mix of styles, because not everybody wants a backyard to mow. So there's got to be a mix of styles in these developments. And I think that's what's going to happen even in the Goodna development.
As long as we don't end up like in Brisbane, where you've got to park your boat out in the street.
Oh, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
hope we get a mix of styles. The one behind the Silkstone Coals, if you were coming home drunk one night, you could accidentally open the front door of the house that you don't belong to, quite easily, because they all look the same to me.
Are you speaking from experience, mate?
From experience.
Actually, the one thing about that would be an expensive place to build. That used to be Bremer High, that area, and it's all black soil. That used to be many thousands of years ago was a swamp, and you've got to make sure you have the right foundations, because your house can walk around the block in that place.
No,
Tell me about it.
I remember the school buildings. If you'd look along, not too many straight lines, not too many straight lines on those old buildings.
You drive up White Hill Road, mate, and if you drive up White Hill Road, you'll notice that the telephone poles lean from side to side, and each day it's different. Right? It's
depending on the heat.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go focusing in on Ipswich Central. Walter, you're our correspondent there. Heart Parklands, you've been keeping tabs on what's going on. Any movement there?
Yes, I can give you some news on the Heart Parklands, and this is breaking news. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Over the back fence at Ipswich Today, the waterfall feature in the Parklands looks like it will never, ever happen again, because they have concrete rust in the waterfall.
Oh, no.
So the only thing that would come out of there now, if you put water in it, is concrete dust. Oh. So they've had to say a big no to that one by the look of things. And there's going to be an eyesore if it's there forever with no water flowing through.
Oh, that's distressing to hear that.
Something like this. It is, isn't it? And distressing for the concrete too.
Yes.
Who put it there? Who did that? Who did
that was the previous council under Paul Pasali.
Yeah,
but the problem was it's laid dormant for over 2 years before the floods happened in 2022. So you're going to get concrete rust when you don't use the features of something like that. So the fault is in the lack of use, really.
Yeah.
And that lies with both the interim and the current local governments.
We'll have to follow that up to get some more scientific analysis there, Walt. But that's a good tip. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that breaking
and all
news.
those other structures you cannot walk on because they're too dangerous. That's been confirmed too. I've been talking to parks people just this week.
What's new in Nicholas Street Precinct? Well, the school holidays was certainly a busy time. Again, I found myself having to go into Nicholas Street Precinct for some business, and you had to fight your way through the kids. But that's a good thing. It was very exciting. Yeah.
That street has a great deal of what would they say? A good memories for me, because it was that street I was walking down and I saw this girl who I had seen on the train coming from Brisbane, and I said to her, she was with her mother, I said, "What's your name?" And she said her name, and I said, "Benny." I said, "Benny," and she said, "No, Penny." I ended up marrying her.
Penelope. Yes, Penelope. Yeah, good story. Good story.
Very nice. Yeah, and the latest thing to happen at Nicholas Street, apart from your marriage, is the handmade markets. I was up there on the weekend on Referendum Day on Saturday, the Voice Day. Didn't see John Farnham making a performance anywhere. But the markets were going, it's the biggest markets I've ever seen, literally. So many food vans, so many people, so many stalls.
How good.
Terrific. So congratulations to everyone involved in that.
No, that's
I think
brilliant.
they're dog friendly too, aren't they?
Yes, they are dog friendly. Yeah, I took Henry and he had a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're getting near the end of our 30th get-together over the back fence. Musical men's sheds have made it onto the agenda for this month. I must admit I've never been to a musical men's shed, but I presume, Ash, it would be for people like you who constantly surround yourself with musical instruments.
And can't play them, yeah. There's a thing. You know how you see the men's sheds where guys can take their power tools and go and cut off a finger or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if that was me, I'd be no fingers. But this is an idea I've got, and I'd love to get someone to do the work for me. And that is a shed, some sort of government funding for guys like myself and a lot of my friends who are retiring and, just once a week go around and sit down and play music with each other. And
That's a great idea.
And also to foster younger people who want to learn.
Yes.
Right? Because there's a lot of us who are, I was talking to Trevor Jarvis about this last night, and he said the only problem he's got with it is that if he drinks, he can't drive home. But it's just an idea I've got, and I reckon it'll go off.
A musical men's shed. Okay, we've put it out there in the universe. Let's see and hear what happens. The Jacaranda Festival is back after a break of 3 years. It shut down with COVID. It's coming back bigger and better the last weekend of this month. When was the last time you went to a Jacaranda Festival, Walter?
Oh, it's been a while, and let's face it, they haven't been around, as you say, for a while in themselves. But I did get to that part of Goodna for a car meet only recently this year, so it's good to see that it's a terrific venue for it, and it has been for years. And as soon as you see the beautiful jacarandas blooming, you just go, the festival can't be too far away, can it? And it's something everyone should really make an effort to get to. It's worth doing.
It is.
These sorts of events are really good for the young entrepreneurs in the town who want to get into food vans and coffee vans. That's how Penny and I started with our coffee van, doing that event and a few other events around the place. That's the sort of stuff we need. That in the mall you were talking about before, the handmade and Jacaranda Festival and things like that. That's good for that type of business and makes it explode. So keep doing it.
One of those little vans I hadn't seen before, he's fairly new to the markets, was doing cob loaves, mini cob loaves. Fantastic, with bacon and cheese in them, and then you dip the crumbs in. Oh, it was delicious. So get a cob in your gob.
I haven't had lunch yet, and we're recording this in the afternoon. Thank you very much, Walter.
That's cruel, sorry.
We'll wrap it up and we'll jump straight to our reminiscing part of the show. And this month, pool halls and other low or no-tech fun in the past.
Oh, look, this brings back a memory.
Go on.
When I was about 12 years old, right? And I had found a thing called the Ritz Pool Hall, which used to be up near Faulkner Motors, where Faulkner Motors was. It's now, the flooring place in town.
Okay, top of town.
Brisbane Street. Yeah, top of town.
Yep.
And there were pool, and I thought I was getting really good at this. Feel the old mates from school would go and play a little bit of pool. And I said to my father, I said, Dad, come on, I'll play your pool, some pool with you, Invited, didn't realise that he was in World War II, was a bit of a pool champ, did I? Wiped the floor with me. But it is a great pastime. We need to get another one going here, don't we? Is there one? Is there one in town at the moment?
Look, the most you'd see of pool tables is in the odd pub. Out the back,
And I can do a shout out for someone who's got a snooker table.
Yes.
The new bearded hippo barbers. Patrick, g'day.
Oh, yes.
Went there last week and he's got a snooker table and it's a ripper.
Oh. So you can have a game while you wait. Is that what happens?
That's what I did. I played snooker while I waited. Then I had my cut, got the wig trimmed.
Yes.
the silver hipster is back, and had a beer in the process, all for $45, bargain.
Oh, can't go
Sounds
wrong.
like fun. Actually, real estate agents get their pool tables. You know how they get them, don't you? Selling houses when people, the guys go, I'm not going to move this thing. What am I going to do with it? The real estate agents, I'll buy it off you. Right, that's usually how they get their pool tables.
So that's how you sell and buy pool tables. All right. Well, what other low and no tech fun? I was going right back to when I was a kid too, and low tech, no tech is playing marbles, but that's when you're very young. Low tech would be the old pinball machines with the flippers.
Yep,
they weren't very high tech. They just made lots of noise, but they were good fun.
Good fun. Yeah.
Go-kart. Do you remember downhill go-kart racing? They used to do it out at the farm. What was it called?
Over at Lob Street? They used to do it there too, yeah.
Yeah, they used to do it there, that's right. That's something we should bring back. Dads get down with their kids making go-karts.
We made our own pinball tables when I was a teenager.
Did you? Go on.
Yeah.
Out of what?
You just use that the wool art sort of stuff that people do, and
nails.
You shape and the nails, and you shape it into a pinball, and then you just get a thing that pings the balls. And I know I made one when I was a very young teen.
Okay,
it was great fun. Yeah, but just going low tech. I loved back in the day when you could go roller skating.
Oh yes.
I think we need a 70s revival of that in Ippy, in the Switch.
The old cinemas used to be good for that. You'll remember this one from Townsville, Walter, the Railway Estate Theatre, just near the railway line there.
Yes, I do.
Rip out all the chairs. Rip out all. Well, I've been there too. Rip out all the chairs, and that was great fun. You used to pack in on a Saturday.
Yeah, huge.
Gee, you guys must be old.
Yeah. What about you, Ash? You must have gone to roller skating in Ipswich somewhere.
Actually, yeah, I remember the old Keogh Street when it used to be out there before they built the one at Bundamba. I remember going out there on a Saturday. That was pretty lousy. But you only went to those places to meet girls
and have fun. Which can be the same. Yeah.
And meet girls. Yeah.
One of our local radio stars, Paul Campion, he used to DJ at the Bundamba Skateaway.
Oh, for John Green?
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah, well, my nephew did too. and actually, there's a lady down there now who's DJing who's got a great singing voice. What's her name? Oh,
you're telling the story. I don't know.
I can't remember. I hate it when I can't remember names. But ask her to sing.
Look,
it's fantastic.
As we're getting older by the minute and more forgetful, we might wrap it all up. But Walt's got one last comment.
Just want to do a shout out. Trotty Beck's Collectibles.
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately, they are temporarily closing. I was in there at the sale the other day picking up a few things, and it turns out the owner, after all these years, and God knows they have survived so many ups and downs and changes like a roller coaster in the Ipswich Mall, which is now Nicholas Street Precinct. But having done all that, they are no longer going to be part of the what they're developing there, which is a shame, because they've been part of the fabric of it, pardon the pun, for decades. They came basically the year after I came back to Queensland, to Ipswich.
And would you believe that was, when Mum was still with us, that was one of my mum's favourite shops. She couldn't go into town without dropping in.
Yeah. Well, they're going to go online for a little bit and sell from there. Yep. And then they are looking for new premises elsewhere in the Switch. So the sooner the better, it's back up and running. Trotty Beck's Collectibles.
Yes.
Right next door to the new men's musical shed.
Perfect, Ash. And on that musical note and fashion note, we'll wrap it up. Thanks, guys. That's been 30 times we've done this. Look forward to the next one. Thanks, Walter.
Hey, thank you, mate. Cheers, El. Cheers, Ash.
Thank you, Ash.
See you at 31.
And that's it for this episode. Just a reminder to look for handy links in the show notes. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. This podcast is listener-supported. Please make a once-only gift or regular donation to help keep it online. Just go to ipswichtoday.com.au. Follow and stream this podcast from your favourite app, including iHeartRadio, or play Ipswich Today on smart speakers. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thank you for listening.